Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I want to take a look at Beto O'Rourke today. He's been in the news, of course, dominating the news cycle. That's a good thing because that means Trump isn't. Now, Beto O'Rourke. Okay, what do we need to know about him? The last time I read on him, it showed that there was potentially a money issue for him in relation to raising money, or perhaps money that he'd taken in the past. There's been a couple of things raised about him, including his voting record when he was a congressman. He ran an absolutely stellar race in Texas. He raised $80 million there. Incredibly disappointed, gutted, I think, needing to take time out after he lost that battle. He took it very close, very closer than really anything we'd seen in the past. I also feel that there were some potentially some issues around those voting machines, flipping Beto O'Rourke's votes to Cruz. It was said at the time that that was rectified. However, I do feel that in some way that could have been a problem for Beto there. Now he's coming back and he's having a tilt at the presidential candidacy for the Democrats. He raised $6 million, or just over $6 million overnight in the 24-hour cycle, more than any other Democrat that has entered the race so far. And there's been some strong candidates. I'm really liking the look of Amy Klobuchar. I think she's doing really well on the campaign. She's running a very even campaign. We've got the mayor, Pete Buttigieg, pardon me, that he's looking really good. He came out the gates with a super start. Kamala Harris is looking good. Elizabeth Warren is running a good campaign so far. Bernie Sanders is back for another shot. All of the candidates, and I've left out some, so that's, we're limited in time, but these are the ones that are coming to mind. Suffice to say, it's a strong field. So, Beto O'Rourke, what's going to happen with Beto? All right. What's his campaign for the candidacy going to look like? Is it going to be smooth? Are there going to be any issues coming forward? How's his campaign for the candidacy likely to go? What do we need to know about Beto? How's his candidacy likely to go? Right, so it's interesting. There are comparisons with Beto and other leaders of the past. It's almost like taking the electorate back to a better time, a saner time. This is someone who's, got their faculties, got their, is coming forward as tolerant and empathetic, and he's saying all the right things. He's backing the Green Deal. He's also that all-American kind of look, so he's appealing there as well. He has advocated for minorities. He's also, as I said, there's been that voting record there sometimes with the Republicans. So it's likely that, like Biden, even though he may not be the most progressive candidate, he's likely to attract a widespread appeal. He's likely to appeal to those voters who really don't want Trump there. Those I'm talking about, swinging voters and Republican voters, disenchanted Republican voters. So like Biden, he's got this widespread appeal. Now, I would love to see a woman candidate this time in 2020. Let's see if Beto is actually going to get the candidacy. I'm just happy to get Trump out. So the bottom line for me is remove him. Okay, so we've got the challenge here is the Empress. Now, That's interesting. The challenge is women to Beto. Okay, so there's been a little bit in the press about things that he's said. His wife's back home, keeping the home fires burning and all of those sorts of things. It's interesting what I said before I pulled that card. If he's going to be successful, he's going to have to really get on the front foot, because this is an issue for him. We saw the waves of women being elected. We know that it's that we're moving toward a more balanced society with the feminine rising. We know that the era of these 70 and 80-year-old white males, wielding a big stick over everyone, including women, is coming to an end. That's the challenge for him. So he's got real strengths around the past, taking people to an era that was safer, more secure, cleaner in terms of politics, or at least a veneer of that. He's been to war. He's got a wide appeal, but there is this issue with women with Beto. So he'll need to get on the front foot there with that. All right. The foundation of the readings is celebrations. There's a lot of relief people that he stepped forward, and that's coming. That's manifesting in the amount of donations he took in 24 hours. He has hope. Okay, so he represents hope. It's like he throws a lasso around that hope card, that hope star, and he pulls it down to himself. This is his appeal, and so that's Four of Wands is talking about celebrating the fact that he's come forward as a candidate. He's got quite a lot of authority here, because in the past we've got the King of Wands. Now, this is saying that he actually has leadership qualities. He's shown he has leadership qualities, and that's going to stand him in good stead in relation. Oh, sorry, that's the King of Cups. I digress. Let's go back. The King of Cups. Leadership qualities, yes, in the King. The King of Wands would have talked about inspiration and being almost the top dog, if you like, the courageous, the bold leader. He's coming forward as the King of Cups. So what this is talking about is that people look to him as a nurturer and a supporter. They feel that he is the benign type of leader that would actually heal, because there is a healing aspect to this card. So hence the reason that he can lasso that hope star, the star of hope. Interesting, the Five of Pentacles coming forward, which is in the sky, which is what's above all of this. It can be the potential that could manifest in the present. So we're not talking about the future, we're talking about the present. He's had issues around money, okay, so I feel that he held off on his announcing his run, because he wanted to be sure he could get the money that he needed for the campaign. And it appears to be that there's been some issue again with money in the past. What did he take with campaign donations that he shouldn't have? Those kind of issues are still here. So I mean, this is loss. This is loss, and it potentially is loss of money. So that is hanging over this entire read so far. However, we know that things have changed or are starting to change, because he took so much money in the first 24 hours. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing when he actually did announce his candidature, people came forward with this emotional, I guess, pouring out of emotions and giving. They gave. So the Page of Cups is someone who can sometimes, well, someone on a quest, so there's a perception that he's standing for the right reasons. It's also someone that has seductive powers as well. That's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're going to be out in the public doing anything in the public domain, you need to be able to communicate. Yeah, so there's this element now in the future. I feel he's going to do quite well with his campaign donations. I feel this 24-hour, $6 million, it's actually restored his faith in some way, because there were money issues for him. Maybe it is because, yeah, I know what it is. In his Texan campaign, yeah, okay. So with this card, there's an element of being excluded, and there's an element of being left out in the cold, and there's an element of I wouldn't say being a victim, but really you're not on the front foot when you draw this card. He raised $80 million in that Texan campaign. There was a lot riding on his shoulders, a lot of hope to unseat Ted Cruz. When he lost 80 million donors, he felt that loss extremely keenly, because he felt that he'd let down his donors. He felt that he'd let down his donors. And he, I think, took a long time, both because he was burnt out, that's showing that he needed to do a lot of reflection to run again. Can he energize? Can he do this again? Can he raise the money that's needed to bring, to run this campaign? He took a long time to decide that. So I would say he's pretty happy now, and he will go out there again and he will do his best. He will bring his energy up. He will perform. He will. He's inspired, and that will show. And I feel that people are going to keep donating to his campaign. He's got widespread appeal. Now, him currently, we've got the Two of Wands, waiting for results, but planning. And you can see in this particular deck, it's crossroads. I feel that he's going to run a fairly careful campaign. I don't feel that he'll be putting a foot wrong, because this card is suggesting that he's really waiting as the other candidates enter. This is a campaign against his own, not against, but for the Democratic presidential nomination. So he's up against fellow Democrats. But it's also making choices, so strategy. I feel that he's going to run a very careful campaign. All right, so what we've got in the environment around, we've got the Page of Swords. All the candidates are going to face a rigorous campaign. Already we've got the major media outlets, if they can dig dirt on a candidate, they will. And that's what he faces. And so this is why he's going to be very careful in his campaigning, because the scrutiny out there is horrendous. I don't know any candidate that will get through without the media digging something up that will portray them in a negative light. Hopes and fears, interesting. So we've got the Queen of Cups here, and he comes forward as the King of Cups, not the King of Wands, the King of Cups. The Queen of Cups in the hopes and fears, I mean, the Queen is, it's somebody that brings forward stability, but there's also an aspect of this card where it's not loss, but there is... it's not a totally happy card. There's all a disappointment in relation to women. I feel that this issue that's been raised with women already, has the potential to disappoint women that might have voted for him, because this is in the hopes and fears. I feel that it's an issue that he'll need to manage now, and he'll need to manage it quite well, because this is the edge that we're on. it's not going to work to, well, for him, the political issues here go beyond just the superficial. Appealing to men who, there's a women issue, let's just say that. There's an issue around women for Beto. All right, Six of Wands. It's looking nice here. We've got the victory card here. It's likely he'll run a good campaign and it could be victorious. That's not to say. Let's get some clarification, because I didn't ask would he be victorious. Some clarification on the Six of Wands. I said what are the conditions around his campaign. I think if I recollect well, what are the conditions around his campaign? The Six of Wands. Oh, I much prefer to do these readings than the Mar-a-Lago, Trump, Epstein ones. They're very difficult. You have to be so careful. Okay, so not they're tricky subjects to wade into as an intuitive. All right, Six of Wands. What do we need to know about the Six of Wands? He's going to have widespread, there's a Ten of Cups, he's going to have widespread appeal to families. Again, this is taking people back into the past. They're going to feel comfortable with Beto. I feel that he's going to get widespread support in his campaign from the families, the average families. It's quite strong, but he's going to need to manage. He's going to need to manage the women's vote. He's really going to have to be careful there. Because that's his challenge. And also, this money fundraising, again, he lost in the past. Shall we ask if he is likely to be the face Trump in 2020? Will he be? It looks like his campaign's going to go well. He possibly could be the candidate. If Beto O'Rourke is, all right, yes, no, Spirit. Hang on, let's give it a good old shuffle here. I'm not going to ask if he's going to be the Democratic candidate. I think it's too early to pull those cards, and there's such a strong field there that anything could happen. But I can ask if he is the candidate. I mean, I will ask that later down the track, but I'm just feeling that it's not the right time to do that. Let's see, if he is the candidate, would he win against a Republican? Because I don't think it'll be Trump running in 2020. If he is the candidate, the Democratic candidate, is he likely to win in 2020? Likely to win? Is Beto likely to win in 2020 if he is the Democratic candidate? Good chance is what I got. A good chance. All right, so straight away we've got defending himself. I'll bring the laptop down. That's interesting. It wouldn't be an easy card. It wouldn't be an easy campaign at all. Republicans fight dirty. What's challenging him potentially is, this is the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles, I don't know how that is a challenge, because it's teamwork. It's really craftsmanship. It's working with others. It's repairing. So it could be that he's challenged quite heavily by the Republican Party, and he'll need to get on the front foot there. However, the foundation of the reading is new beginnings with the Fool coming forward. Not an easy game. What this is saying, not an easy campaign for him to run. It's not going to be easy for anybody. We know that the divisive nature of the electorate, the level that the politics is sunk to, the Republican rhetoric and gaslighting, not going to be an easy campaign. However, the foundation of the reading is new beginnings, looking good. He will have put in enough work at the end of the day with the Eight of Pentacles. This is leaving a body of work that he will set his race up quite strongly against the Republicans. The Chariot, things coming forward. Okay, right. Despite what the Republicans would throw at him, he's got a very good chance of winning in 2020. This is strong. This is quick. This is lightning stuff happening. This is just a decisive victory at this stage of this reading. All right. Loss for someone. Okay, how does that relate to the Chariot? There's loss here. Would he have a good chance of winning? I'm seeing winning cards and I'm seeing loss. Loss for somebody. Loss for the Republicans. Let's keep going with the reading. Okay, the foundation. Yeah, it is loss for the Republicans. Okay, phew. Okay, so this card here is the Five of Swords, and this card comes across with abuse. It's when people have abused their power. It's around bullying. It's around theft. It's around abuse generally. This is relating to the Republicans. So what this is showing is that this will go in Beto's favour. As we already know, we know that the environment around here is the Four of Cups. People are really bitter. Okay, they're disappointed. They're disappointed. They're disenchanted. This is divine discontent, and it is around the abuse of power. These aren't Beto's cards, by the way. These are the Republicans' cards, and potentially the Republican candidate. It's good to see these cards. Okay, the hopes and the fears. Okay, karmic destiny changing. This is looking good for a Democratic win in 2020. Okay, the Five of Cups here. Okay, so these cards aren't easy. The Five of Cups. Is that Beto or is that the Republicans? Let's have a look. Is that Beto? Can we have some clarification? Is he likely to win? We had Beto here, then we had the Republicans come forward here, so I'm not entirely clear. The Five of Pentacles, it's around money here. He got that card originally. Okay, the Five of Pentacles. There's this money issue that keeps coming up with Beto. Is he likely to win in 2020? Is he likely to win in 2020? 2020, if he was the candidate, is he likely to win? Okay, the Emperor, the presidency. Again, that could be Trump, but I'm feeling Trump's not going to stand. Okay, the High Priestess. So this is again around things. All right, yeah, okay. All right, what this reading is saying is that things are still being formed and that the future in a way is not actualized into reality yet. And what this is Spirit's way of saying, these are all the conditions at this particular time. It's saying that he could take a win, but there's also some kind of secrets here that might come out. So I can't call this one. I can't call this one for Beto. I can't call this one. It looks really strong for a Democratic win, but for Beto, not necessarily. So I can't leave you hanging like that. That's not to say he won't win, but he's got a long way to go yet. He's got to win the candidacy. So I'm not going to leave you hanging like this because I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to ask the question. You see what the cards do? They bring forward all these conditions that we need to be, that we should be reflecting on. Not should be, that we can reflect on. I'm going to just cut the deck, give it a good shuffle, and we're going to ask, is there going to be a Democratic victory regardless of who? Who is the Democratic candidate? Because that was, I think, that was really it. He's not the Democratic candidate yet. So there's that Five of Pentacles that keeps coming up. So there's this something around money here still with Beto. Still, he has a lot of support. A lot of support. Okay. All right. So are the Democrats going to win in 2020? Are the Democrats going to win in 2020? I wouldn't be smiling if I wasn't sensing, obviously, they are. Okay, but whether it will be with Beto or someone else is yet to come forward. Okay, so will the Democrats win in 2020? Will the Democrats win in 2020? Okay. Okay, another yes card so far in this reading. We can see how the cards turn here, but this is potentially the Ace of Cups, new emotional starts, new covenants, can be seen as the Holy Grail as well, winning the Holy Grail. What's challenging this is other Republicans. This is the smug Nine of Cups. This is the smug merchants. This is abundance. This is wealth. So that's going to be a challenge for the Democrats. Is the sheer fundraising of the Republicans. The foundation of this reading is, again, the electorate is disappointed. So, this isn't. The midterms were, had an energy about them. I think I have to say that by the time 2020 comes, there's going to be a fair amount of disappointment and discontent around politics generally and what has gone on with Trump. And I feel that's what that card is bringing forward. Okay, so yeah. The past, we've got the deals. This is again, the Trump-Russia. This is what's hanging over this reading still. It's an emotional thing. Look at the cups that I've brought forward. There are new starts here. There are new starts because the emotions are just so, so. I won't say bitter, but there's just this real divine discontent around politics. There's going to be change. This came forward as well. Came forward in the other reading. The Chariot, going to be strong. A strong outcry here, like we saw in the midterms. There's going to be celebrations. Don't worry, there's going to be celebrations. This is the Four of Wands. This is reunions. This is happiness. It's like people are going to be throwing parties in their backyard, okay? Because it's been a real rough ride. The ending of something, and this is in the present position at the moment, we know that something is ending. This is the Death card. We know it's the Trump presidency. It's a somber kind of reading here, a somber kind of reading. The environment around 2020 and around now, in the lead up to 2020, is new starts, endings of something. And new starts desired. No wonder people want these new starts. There's a real emotional, Okay, hopes and fears. The electorate want the Republicans stopped. They want them, that's it. It's almost like I feel that's it. And I've got the Nine of Swords. Again, there's this somber tone to this reading. Anxiety and worry is going to influence their vote. And also the Mueller investigation as well. However, we've got the Star of Hope coming forward as a yes here. It's interesting, isn't it? It's like this isn't a storybook ending here. This is an ending for the Republicans and Trump and what the damage that has been caused. It's caused a tremendous amount of distress in the electorate. If you imagine in homes where people can't sleep. It's that kind of distress that the Republicans have caused. People are looking for new starts. So, and I acknowledge that they're extremely discontented. They're extremely disappointed. But the two things to take away from this reading, is people are looking for new emotional starts and they have hope. that they can actually achieve that through electing a Democrat in 2020. So my feeling on this is that the people really right-thinking voters, independents, swinging voters across the board, they want Trump stopped, and that's going to come through the polls. It doesn't matter if it's Trump or some other Republican, they'll vote for change. However, I would say that it's really the Trump-Russia, what's been going on, the deals that have been made, getting into bed with adversarial actors, has really prompted people to prompt people to come forward very strongly and vote against the Republicans. So I don't see that there's anything the Republicans can do. Going back to Beto O'Rourke, because this is his reading, it appears that there's a couple of issues there that he will need to sort out if he's going to win the candidacy. The cards are not telling me that he is. They're showing he's going to run a careful campaign, and initially people are really embracing him. However, there's an issue around women, and there's also something to do with the Five of Pentacles. It's a difficult card. It's also can be isolation, can be worry. It's around being, feeling. I think what's happened here is that Beto hasn't fully recovered from his loss in Texas, and that's why he's going carefully. But it's showing he's going to be buoyed by the amount of donations that are coming in and by the support. He could very well be the candidate, but that's a reading for later on. Right now, the energies around him are a little bit complicated. So, however, 2020, we've got that star of hope and change in 2020, and so we're looking at potentially a Democratic win in 2020, regardless of who is the candidate. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope you've enjoyed the readings this morning. Please do comment on this reading. I'm really interested in them. I read all your comments, and I'd encourage you to comment and let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you've got any information or leads, and when I read the comments, I file them in this computer, and I can follow them up and bring them forward in the future. So thank you again for your support. I hope you've enjoyed the reading.